Before we begin, quick recap. Who survived STRS Alpha after Rion? First, Wesker, if you saw my last videos, So I'll skip him. His arc comes soon after Re3. Second, Barry Burton. I missed one Rion detail. Rion has two protagonists. If you pick Jill, Barry is your partner. And he has a family. So Wesker used Barry's wife and two daughters as leverage, forcing him to collect BOW combat data. Barry betrayed Jill once, but at the end, he woke up and helped take down Wesker and the T1 Tyrant. Then he returned to Raccoon City with the others. And like I said, after the mansion incident, Chris kept reporting Umbrella's inhuman secret experiments, but Chief Brian Irons buried it and handled it quietly. With no choice, Chris went alone to Umbrella's Europe HQ to investigate. As for Barry, after living through the mansion incident, he knew Umbrella-run Raccoon City getting overrun was inevitable. Plus, the heavily infected Arkley Mountains were right next door. So to fight better, protect his friends, and avoid being blackmailed again, he moved his wife and kids to Canada. Meanwhile, Jill stayed in Raccoon City, still digging into Umbrella Labs. They agreed to meet later in Europe. That's the setup for Re3. And that's why Jill is desperate to escape Raccoon City. Second point, during Re3, Raccoon City has more than just Jill's STRS. There's also a U.S. military unit, Punk's U.S.S, and another Umbrella unit, U.B.C.S. Let me break down those last three. First, why U.S.S. was sent here. We covered last episode, and like I said, William knew Umbrella's style, just like what they did to Dr. Marcus when he refused the T-virus. Pause. In Retwo Remake, when Hunk's team hits the lab, William has already packed the samples about to meet the U.S. military. In Re3, you can see corpses from that military unit, like in the final railgun showdown area, and in the hospital where Carlos gets Jill the vaccine. The soldiers in green camo scattered around are them. They weren't just extracting William, they also had a mission to save Raccoon City. Now, U.B.C.S, what were they doing here? They're a first-time unit in the series. Full name: Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service. Mostly ex-soldiers, mercs, even criminals paid to do the job. So they clean up Umbrella's mess, but rank below U.S.S. Simply, U.S.S. is Umbrella's Royal Guard. U.B.C.S. is the frontline meat shield. Different status, but elite fighters on both sides are comparable. I won't even talk about the extras. And their goals in this game are different too. U.S.S. Capture William alive, take the virus sample, and erase people and evidence that could expose Umbrella. U.B.C.S. claims it's here to help civilians escape and eliminate BOW threats. But the real mission is not that simple. Third, let's talk about the timeline. I said before, Raccoon City had occasional cannibal disease, but it was small scale and police handled it fast. In the original Retwo I covered last time, it doesn't clearly state exact dates. But in the remake, when Hunk's team drops into William's lab for the G-virus, you can see a timestamp on the HUD. It shows 11 p.m., September 22, 1998, after the grab when Hunk's teammates get wiped. The HUD shows 1:18 a.m., September 23. Assuming normal drinking habits, most citizens get exposed later. So files in the Retwo Remake RPD station that say, major outbreak on Sep 25, RPD becomes a shelter that actually fits. Garbled, but hey race the problem per the original Retwo art book. Leon, a rookie cop, shows up late after breaking up and getting drunk. He misses his first day. So he arrives on the night of Sep 29. But in the remake, Leon's route starts with a document. An RPD notice dated September 18, 1998. That's weird because with the original timeline, even if Leon's late, it'd only be Sep 19. And Hunk's capture William mission likely isn't even active yet. Raccoon City also wouldn't be fully overrun. So what's with this messed up timeline? I got curious, searched around, and found the real answer. Capcom retconned it. That's the reason. On the official Retwo Remake Twitter, they said this. Before Leon's report date September 17. He got a call. Don't come in tomorrow. We'll contact you. So Leon just waited and waited. Until he couldn't take it, drove over and found the city like this. And by waiting, he luckily missed the big zombie sweep. Accidentally a win. So by the official line, Retwo still happens the night of Sep 29 to the morning of Sep 30, 1998. So why did I ramble on about all this? Because for Resident Evil, the timeline is everything. And I'm setting up Re3's timing. Re3 starts before Retwo begins and ends after Retwo ends. Overall, daytime Sep 28 to morning Oct 1. How do we prove that? First, the game's opening caption confirms the start date. For the end date, Umbrella Chronicles states, October 1st, 1998. Also, right after Jill and Carlos fly out, the nuke hits. So that locks the end date. Why is the timeline so messy? Because Re3 was originally designed as an Retwo side story. Its internal dev code name was Resident Evil 1.9. Shinji Mikami wanted it as an extension of Retwo. Later, due to various reasons, it got promoted into a mainline title Re3. So even though it's numbered after Retwo, the story timeline overlaps and wraps around Retwo. Fourth, since Re.9 became Re3 late in development, it can't match Retwo's scale or length. But it still brings new ideas. First, it still uses a dual protagonist setup. But unlike Retwo's 4A/B story routes, it's more like ReZero. One protagonist's story breaks, the other reconnects it. Then the first continues to the end. Second, real-time choices that change the ending. Late game on a narrow bridge, Nemesis shows up. Jump off and you enter the waste plant via another route. Push him off and you go in from above. That one split changes NPC deaths and ending scenes. And it's timed hesitate too long. The game says you missed the escape window, and you may die and reload. Another highlight, ammo crafting. Besides picking up bullets, you'll find a /B gunpowder. Combine them to make C powder. Different mixes make different ammo. Many recipes, and the more you craft one type, the better you get at it. So the same powder makes more rounds. That's it. Alright, intro notes done. Let's begin. September 28, 1998. Raccoon City has fallen. Jill, still investigating Umbrella, realizes if she doesn't run, she's done. Time to head for Europe and Chris. But first she hits the RPD for gear, and at the door, she sees this.
Jill!
Brad!
We've gotta... Jill! Help!
No! Brad?
This tyrant is different. It chases nonstop and heals fast. You drop it, turn a corner, then it jumps in again. So we'll just call it Chaser. We kite it while looting the station for guns and ammo. Inside is basically a graveyard and Chaser keeps tailing us. So we bail and reach a nearby diner. There we meet the second lead, Carlos Oliveira. He's a U.B.C.S. merc squad, a team. We barely exchange names, and Chaser shows up again. Here you get a choice. Escape through the sewers, or stay and blow the gas line to drop Chaser again. I recommend the second running is just running. You gain nothing. Watch the Cutsanino ammo spent. Then you get a special drop. Nice. As Chaser falls, Carlos says survivors are rare now. If you've got no other plan, Jill, join my team. We're posted at the streetcar station by City Hall. If you're in, come find me there. More people, more power, well, get out together. Then he's gone. Now to open City Hall's gate. We must fill the crystal pedestal out front. And those gems are scattered across half the city. After an hour of back and forth, we fill it and open the gate. Then we detour to the streetcar. Inside are 3 people: Carlos, who we just met, and a badly wounded man on the seat, Mikhail Victor, captain of U.B.C.S. D squad. And the white-haired guy standing there is Nikolai, captain of D squad's B team. Okay, hey, race the situation. Mikhail was hurt earlier, got infected times short, but he's still aware. Nikolai doesn't trust the new girl, Jill, but Carlos talks him into letting her join. Nikolai says, the city is basically out of routes, but this streetcar still works, make it a moving fortress. Drive straight to the clock tower. A U.B.C.S. helicopter will pick us up there. Sounds great. Problem is, the streetcar fuse is blown, and the lubricant's been drained. So for the next hour, as Jill, we just fight and scavenge. Once those 2 issues are solved, we roll out.
Mikhail!
Mikhail!
Jill! Get out of the cable car, now!
Mikhail, wait, don't!
Get out of here! Hurry!
tanks are out!
This must be it.
At the clock tower, we solve puzzles to find the gears. Install them, the bells ring, and the rescue chopper appears.
We're saved. Down here! It's finally over. Huh? Stars.
Jill!
In the next fight, Jill gets stabbed by Nemesis and blacks out poison. You switch to Carlos, heading to the hospital for the vaccine. He'll skip the details, lots of loops and fighting. But one key thing, Carlos learns U.B.C.S. secret. On paper, Umbrella ordered them to rescue civilians, but every U.B.C.S. squad has a supervisor. Their job is still to gather BOW combat data and destroy evidence that hurts Umbrella. Yet the supervisors all die. Why is that? And after Carlos grabs the serum and leaves the lab, he finds the building rigged with a timer bomb. So is someone else pulling strings here?
Come on.
No time to talk, bring it back. After the shot, Jill wakes fast. Okay, she's up, time to run, right? The pickup chopper got shot down, confused, right? While we're scratching our heads, Chaser sheds its suit. Tentacles pop out its power spikes. What now? Run. Any keypad door, dive in. No idea why it's designed like this. Through the park, to the facility, into the cabin out back. Cold draft, oh, the walls busted. We poke behind the fireplace into a hidden room. After searching, we learn this cabin is a supervisor meetup spot. And on the inner desk, we find a document. It basically says, Raccoon City is abandoned, all supervisors evacuate now. Tomorrow morning the U.S. will launch a nuke. City erased, instant ashes. Jill reads it and panics. She rushes back to tell Carlos. But right outside, she runs into Nikolai.
You're looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects. Another mutant!
This mini-boss is scripted barely a fight. So we drop this giant sausage, grab the key, and open the parkside gate. That gate goes straight to the waste plant. There's a watchtower we can radio for help. On the bridge into the plant, you get a time choice that affects the ending and whether Nikolai lives. Either push Chaser into the water or jump in yourself. I got heated and shoved Chaser in. That ending isn't the official one. They'll show the other one later, so let's keep moving. We enter through the front, loot up, and reach the tower. There we hear Carlos. He's found a helicopter. But ITLL take time, and there's a handheld radar on the table. It shows the nuke's distance to Raccoon City. Basically a countdown telling you finish fast. So we head down and escape through the main exit. Chaser keeps showing up, now it's been dropped a lot. After each near-fatal hit, it reveals more of its true form, from tight suit to huge crawler barely human shape. In the end, we fire the Army's prototype railgun and pierce the crawler. Then we get out.
出去。
Warning. System overheating. Entering cooldown mode.
Jill! Over here!
I guess we're all set.
All right then, we're out of here.
Oh no.
It's here. It's time to go.
That's it. I've had it. This time they've been too fun.
And now we have a rather unfortunate turn of events. It seems that the President and the Federal Council have passed judgment over the civilians of Raccoon City. The President and Federal Council have ruled that the Bacillus Terminate operation is the best course of action for this extreme situation, and have since executed. Based on that fact, Raccoon City has been literally wiped off the map. Current reports have the death toll surpassing the 100,000 mark. Our hearts go out to those poor civilians of Raccoon City.
Same fights in the other ending. The difference is whether Nikolai dies. In my push ending, Nikolai has a shootout with us at the plant. Then Chaser sneaks up and impales him into the ceiling. In my jump ending, Nikolai flies a U.B.C.S. chopper to the tower, tugs us, then bails. That's basically his official outcome. Like I said, you find lots of dead U.B.C.S. supervisors on the way. Even the hospital lab bomb that almost got Carlos. That was Nikolai. U.B.C.S. are mercs. Everyone loves money. And the more intel a supervisor collects, the more they're paid. So Nikolai, with pure nerve, kills teammates and grabs tons of data. Then he flies off, cashes out, and vanishes. Lives easy until writers need him again. That fits Capcom best. Likewise, in the second ending, Carlos doesn't go hunting Chopper. She keeps calling for help from the tower. He finally flags one down. Look up, the pilot is Barry, coming from Europe to find Jill. Didn't expect that, right? Now let's talk about this game's tyrant. It's not just inject T-virus and done. From Weskyer's report and the in-game files, it starts with the mass-produced T-103 tyrant. Then a parasite called Any is injected into its bone marrow. Smarter, uses weapons, can even talk. To restrain it and stop it going berserk, they put it in a trench coat. If it can be restrained, it means it can mutate. In Re3, Chaser has 3 forms. Form 1, early game rocket launcher, code on, looks proper. Form 2, after it's burned, restraints fall off and the parasite shows as tentacles. Long-range hits, hooks, grabs, throw, stuff like that. Form 3, a huge crawler's low, but it feeds on corpses for endless strength and sprays corrosive digestive acid. Yeah, it's that strong. The movie's Nemesis is based on Re3's Chaser. I want cover the route, huge travel. You just loop around Raccoon City, then fly out. Now let's focus on the final railgun scene. If you've only ever used a big stick, suddenly wielding this cannon feels unreal. And if you look closely, the area is full of details. Most obvious, the Super Tyrant T-103 jammed into the wall on the left. When Chaser hits Form 3, it becomes a crawler by feeding on that guy. Once you spot that, count how many other bodies are around. Besides the Super Tyrant, there are 3 trench coats and 8 dead U.S. soldiers. Outside the door, there's 1 more coat and 2 more soldiers. So before we arrive in the Army versus Tyrant railgun fight, 5 Tyrants and 10 soldiers showed opponent to 2. Our hero gets chased to death by just 1 Tyrant. Imagine NPCs with no plot armor. That army squad was elite. Look closer. Each Tyrant has a canister nearby. Recognize it? Yep, the original Retwo cutscene that the remake removed. That helicopter carried 6 canisters. 1 was dropped at the RPD, where Leon and Claire are. The other 5 were all released here to fight the soldiers. Shows the Army's power and how tight the original design was. And you might ask, Capcom later made Operation Raccoon City, so what's up with that plot? First, it was outsourced to a third-party studio. Second, the quality is rough, people who played it know. Third, its story isn't canon. Even though it's set between Retwo and Re3, you can meet Jill, Leon, Claire, and other classics, but it overturns a lot of mainline lore. I want listed all. Still, some elements are usable, like the Army's involvement and specific U.S.S. orders as extra detail for the main story. Also, some viewers DM'd me Same T-virus, we do some become shambling zombies, while others turn into freak BOWS, even top-tier tyrants. Simple. Passive infection versus hand-picked injection, you know which is worse.